Hello, it's April from April's Home, and today I'm making lemon bars. This is a recipe that I found years ago in one of those little tiny recipe books that you buy around the holidays near the checkout at a grocery store. I do believe I have the link to the correct recipe. I will go ahead and put that in the description box below. This is a lovely, easy lemon bar recipe with a delicious shortbread crust. And these are the ingredients that you'll need. You'll need flour, lemon juice, powdered sugar, granulated sugar, some baking powder, a cup of butter, 4 eggs. And you'll need your electric mixer, a mixing bowl, and a 9x13 baking dish ungreased. And you'll need to preheat your oven to 350. So first I'm going to go ahead and get started with the crust. So the base of these lemon bars are made with 2 cups of flour, half a cup of powdered sugar, and 1 cup of softened butter. I just like to go ahead and almost melt this butter. So I'm going to go ahead now, unwrap the butter, and microwave it for a little bit in the microwave, probably about 45 seconds or so, until it's soft enough to blend in. And then I will get my ingredients in the bowl and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've added 2 cups of flour, half a cup of powdered sugar, and here is my almost completely melted butter here. I usually melt the butter a little bit less than that, but that's how it turned out this time, and that is okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my electric mixer to blend this together. It will form sort of a crumbly mixture. Okay, so here is the crust all blended together. You can see it's like a crumbly mixture here, but it adheres to itself really well. So we're going to go ahead now and pour it into the 9x13 ungreased baking pan here, and then I will use clean hands to press it in place. So here I will transfer it in here. And I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down and press this in place, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so here I've pressed the crust mixture in to the 9x13 pan. I did use this rubber scraper here to kind of smooth out the edges there and help press it down a little bit more. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this in my oven. It's been preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and cook this for about between 20 and 30 minutes, just based on my oven. My oven runs a little hot, so it'll probably be closer to 20 minutes. We're only partially cooking this just until it's like a light golden brown. And then I'll go ahead and clean my mixing bowl and mixers and get ready to make the filling while this is baking. Okay, so now to make the filling while the crust is finishing up, I've got 2 cups of sugar in my mixing bowl. And to that I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder. And before I add in my eggs, I'm going to go ahead and whisk them up. Okay, so I've whisked together all of my eggs, and now I'm going to go ahead and pour it in the bowl here. I'll go ahead and scrape that out in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead now and whisk this all together. When it's thoroughly whisked together, I'll be adding some lemon juice. But first, I'm going to go ahead and get this all whisked together, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. So I have the filling ingredients beat up here nice and combined together, and now I'm going to go ahead and add the lemon juice. This is a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And now I'm going to go ahead and mix that in until it's all combined. And I've taken out my crust. You can see it's a nice golden brown here, and we will be pouring the filling on top of this hot crust as soon as we're done mixing in the lemon. So just kind of stir it around, and you might want to get a whisk to scrape down the sides also, so you're getting everything incorporated with that delicious lemon juice. Okay, so I've mixed everything for the filling together, and now I'm going to go ahead and pour this over the crust. Just like so, and I will go ahead and use the scraper here to get the rest of it out. And then I will go ahead and put this back into the oven. And this will go back into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes until the top of the filling is a light golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the filling in and put this in the oven, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's finished baking. Okay, so here are the lemon bars all out of the oven. They took 25 minutes to get to this color. You can see it's all kind of a light golden brown crust here. And I'm going to go ahead and let this cool for about an hour, and then I'm going to make the glaze topping. The glaze topping is very simple. It is just powdered sugar and lemon juice, but I will go ahead and let this cool for a bit, and then I'll get that mixed up and poured on the top so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so now I'm ready to make the glaze for my lemon bars. I've put a cup of powdered sugar in this bowl. It might be a little bit more than a cup, but really this is just an easy glaze to make. You add in, start with 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice and add a little bit more as you need to make it a nice thin consistency so you can pour it over the top and glaze your lemon bars. So I'm going to go ahead and get some lemon juice in here. I'll start again with 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in 1 cup of powdered sugar. I'll mix that together and we'll see if we need a little bit more lemon juice. So this is the consistency so far with just the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I might just go ahead and add a couple more drops of lemon juice there and get that stirred together a little bit more. You want to make sure to stir this all the way so that when you pour it out, you don't see a lot of the clumps of powdered sugar. It's okay if there's a few in there, but it's nice to get it all mixed together and smooth. You can use the back of your spoon to break up little clumps and just get that mixed together until it is a nice smooth consistency there. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this poured over the top of this and let it just kind of fall all over the top of this. I'll use my spoon to gently kind of push it to the corners. The top of this crust is very delicate and it will come off if you try to spread the glaze forcefully. This looks like a small amount, and I think in the past I've actually mixed up a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and if I need to make another ½ cup worth, I will go ahead and do that. And the ½ cup would just be ½ cup to 1 tablespoon and maybe a few drops extra of lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Get that spread over the top so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so I poured the top on. You can see I missed a few little specks of powdered sugar there, but I'll go ahead and just tap those lightly in a minute. And also when this all cools off and hardens up, it will kind of cover up those. Also, I left this a little bit warm and I was able to tip the pan here, and you can see how the glaze spreads. That way it was easy to get it all the way to the edges, but I decided that I wanted a little bit more glaze, so I mixed up a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and add that now. Okay, so I'm happy with this amount of glaze. I know that my family likes the glaze topping, so I wanted to be sure and have plenty of glaze topping on the top. This is a really easy and wonderful lemon bar recipe. I'm making it for our Mother's Day barbecue for dessert. Sort of a nice fresh spring lemony flavor, but this is good year-round. I also make this at Christmas time, and we absolutely love it. It's one of our family's favorite lemon bar recipes. So now I'm going to go ahead and let this cool the rest of the way down. You definitely want to cool this for probably a minimum of a solid hour, hour and a half before you cut into it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this continue cooling. Let the glaze harden up and cool as well. And then I will show you what the finished product looks like, as well as cutting out a square so that you can see what the inside looks like. So the lemon bars are just about cool enough to cut open, but I thought that I would show you what they look like out here on a little serving board with some pretty yellow tulips. Again, all ready for our Mother's Day dessert. This is such a fun and easy recipe. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at it. And again, I will leave the link below where I found this recipe originally years ago. The way I mix it together is slightly different than the recipe calls for. Either way works just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cool just a little bit more and then cut a square out so I can show you what that looks like. But that is our Mother's Day lemon bars. One thing I forgot to mention about these lemon bars is when they are all cool, I like to go ahead and cut them into bars and then keep them refrigerated. They have a lot of egg in them, so anytime I make a bar or dessert that's has a lot of eggs in it, I do like to keep that refrigerated. So that is how you will store the leftovers in the refrigerator. So I'm going to get back to cutting these up. Okay, so here's a little square of the lemon bar, and just so you can see, it has a nice little top, sort of a crispy shell, a nice soft lemony center there, and then a shortbread crust, and of course that little bit of lemon glaze over the top. And it is absolutely delicious. I am filming this a little bit later in the day. I finished it up and it was just cool enough, and then my family arrived, and you can see they absolutely loved it. They ate lemon bars while they were here, and I sent them home with some as well. So definitely a very good treat, perfect to go along with a barbecue or just a nice dessert anytime. You can see it kind of crumbles, the bottom crumbles a little bit, but it's absolutely delicious. A very buttery, crispy crust. Definitely a very yummy treat. I hope you enjoyed watching me bake up this easy lemon bar recipe. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe for more videos from April's Home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.